This week, we talk about trans women in girls' sports. Spicy, I know. Also, we'll take the mystery out of amino acids and check in to see if I'm any less fat. Let's get into it. Do we? You know what? I got a quick story before we get into our news items and such.
Oh, boy.
You know how I've been trying to get them gains, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm getting
With
stronger.
How's your hands?
Yep, and I use my mittens to protect my delicate guitar playing hands. But the funny thing is, we played a gig. Speaking of my guitar playing hands, we played a gig this week. A gig.
That's legit rock and roll talk.
I had a sleeveless shirt on, and then two bros walked by as they were leaving. They go, "Keep getting those gains, bro."
Shut up.
I swear to God, they yelled it at me.
That's so awesome.
Now, here's what's up for debate. Were they being completely sarcastic? Like, why is that guy wearing a sleeveless shirt when he's such a puny-ass wuss? Or were they like, hey, that guy actually looks decent for being 50? I couldn't tell. But I'm choosing to think that they like the gains.
You get to decide that outcome of that story.
See? Because I had like the sleeveless. You know, so I think when I was playing guitar, I think there's enough there that they weren't completely...
Doesn't matter. You get to decide.
I want it to be real.
You get to decide. They left. You'll never see them again. It's not up for debate. You get to finish how that story ends. So they're complimented.
I felt good, though.
Fuck yeah.
They're like, keep getting those gains, bro. Because remember last week you talked about...
Did you go, when you were playing, did you turn and go...
I think it just happens because when you're naturally contracting and making sure that you're flexing at all times.
Oh, right.
You know, whenever you're in public.
Yeah. When I get done here, like holding like this and just when I get done and we're all done, just like as soon as you hit the record button, I'm like,
exhale.
God, thank God that's over. I was so tense sitting there flexed the entire time.
But you did speak about how it's kind of an addictive thing when people notice. Right.
Oh, it for sure it is.
So that was my first taste. That was the first time anyone's ever said, "Oh, keep getting those gains, bro."
The nectar. It's a forbidden nectar. It's, right. And you can't not.
It was a juicy apple.
You got to taste it again.
I took my first bite.
Yeah. and it's ambiguous to the gender. Doesn't matter who does it. Even like you said, it was dudes. It was like
I bet it's mostly dudes that notice you.
Oh, for sure.
Because
100%.
Exactly how women notice shoes. You know, I don't notice women's shoes ever, but other women do, or hairstyles or whatever. It's That's really like when women, you know, get gussied up or do their makeup. It's really other women that notice that stuff more than men.
And truth be told, women mostly will look at a guy who's got some muscle, some gains, and will say, I like that, but
they're not going to yell. I'm not going to ask those gains, bro.
Well, they might, but they're not going to ask you to do their checkbook. They're like, all right, oh, look at that guy. But what a meathead! I bet.
What a dummy.
That's I think more times than not with the female gender, I think that's their perception of somebody with a decent amount of lean body mass.
And you're here to prove them right.
Oh, I do it every week. You're
just a pretty beefy face.
I just smash those stereotypes with my. Can you repeat the part of the stuff where you said about the things?
So does that mean as I get gains, bro, my IQ's gonna drop? Is that what I got looking forward?
It might.
Got to look forward to.
It might.
One too many skull crushers, conk myself in the head.
No, it's just it's a blood thing. You're gonna be dumber and shit. But you'll have more blood flowing elsewhere, and it's a fair trade-off.
So
I have a calculator on my phone.
Yes, well, some of that's age, but I can't add in my head like I used to. Speaking of anecdotal stories that happened this last week, I went through Starbucks, and I was going to get one of their sausage muffin, whatever, and eat the meat, right?
I was going to say, so just fuck everything you've been doing.
No, just I always get like sugar-free, coffee with sugar-free syrup and coconut milk in it.
Oh, yeah.
And then sometimes
coconut milk is bomb.
It is.
I like it.
Way less calories than heavy cream, which I'm trying to switch from, the heavy cream in my coffee to coconut milk. So it's Got good fats, but way less calories.
Coconut milk and oatmeal is good.
Yeah. So anywho, I went through the drive-through, ordered the sausage muffin, and she goes, "Well, actually, I'm sorry, we're out of that, but we do have the Impossible sandwich, and it's exactly the same, just plant-based, so even better." And I literally went, I couldn't contain my chuckling. And she was like, "What?" I'm like, that's never going to happen. So just skip it. But the funny thing
What
was,
are the odds she had a bunch of the real ones and was trying to
just force it on me?
control the narrative? Yeah.
Oh, well, the funny thing was, I could tell in her tone, she 100% believed, well, why would you want that artery clogging meat when you can have
Flesh.
when this is even better for you?
Right.
So
And
obviously, the healthy choice would be to select this.
it's the same thing.
And it tastes exactly the same. So why wouldn't you want the thing that's healthier? And I was like, oh, you're so misguided. I resisted the urge to school her on it when I pulled up to the window.
There's cars behind you. You just got to go.
I just said, nah, I just chuckled and she got offended. And then I said, nah, that's never going to happen.
And she's spitting your latte.
Probably. But it was just so indicative of our times that, people just think that's the healthy option. So if you
Right.
were smart, you'd get this thing, dummy.
Right.
Nah, not gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm out. Just take that off and just give me the whatever else would have been there.
I'll just fast.
Right. Right.
That's
Give me the bun.
a better option.
I'd rather eat the bun.
Speaking of red meat and stuff, I saw this meme, which is pretty hilarious, that Sean Baker posted. And for those listening, it says, it's got a picture of Jennifer Aniston and Iggy Pop side by side. And it says, "When you see your friend who gave up red meat a year later."
Except,
Poor Iggy.
yeah, he gets a...
Gotta say though, Iggy Pop looks good for being 70 or whatever the hell he is.
Right.
He's pretty shredded, actually. I mean, he looks wore out, but what do you expect from a rock star who's 70?
Right. Who's got
God knows
too
what
much blood in his cocaine system.
Exactly. I'm not sure Jennifer Aniston likes the comparison, but
No, she doesn't. She's like, oh my God, that's what I look like without makeup.
right. Oh, good stuff. And then I saw this other, speaking of vegans. Okay, first of all, the Daily Mail, your website sucks.
I think
There's like
vegans are
87,000 freaking.
The vegan population
Look at this
is
shit.
growing, dude.
For those looking on YouTube right now, look at the amount of non-content
I
versus
still
the
don't
amount
even know where the article is.
Right, exactly. There's like literally 5 lines. Just take up about 6% of the screen space, and the rest is all ads.
So what are the odds
Holy
that
shite.
that's paying off for them? It must be.
Well, I think they're desperate because the publishing and the news industry is so screwed right now because nobody wants to ever pay for news, present company included.
No, because they can't monetize the internet.
Exactly, because I'll just go on Google News. Why would I pay for this shit?
Well, it's like the Star Tribune out of the Twin Cities, and then the Fargo Forum
right.
in their paywalls. I haven't read a Fargo Forum column or article since they started the paywall.
Yeah, because you just tap out.
Yep, I am.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, I'm not registering. I'm not paying.
So this guy's the Daily Mail's approach is, okay, you can see the content, but it's going to be surrounded by 18,000 ads.
Which is fair.
Right,
Because then if I really want to watch it or read it, then fine.
Yeah, you can't avoid these freaking ads.
Yep.
And I get it. I mean, why would we expect a reporter to do his job and not get compensated, right?
Agreed, 100%.
They need to do it, but I feel like the industry is really struggling right now to find
Their way.
that balance,
Yeah.
where they can provide quality news. And unfortunately, it's just like music and everything. Musicians are totally hurting right now because you can't, even as a famous, unless you're like Justin Bieber or somebody, you can't make money selling music anymore. It's all in touring. That's why these old dinosaur rock acts are still out.
Still doing the
Still
child
on the
support
road.
tour.
You gotta, yeah, because it's literally the only income they have
Child
now.
support and alimony tour.
Yep, exactly.
We need money.
Anyways, this article states Jeez, I can't even find the freaking title. Okay, children on trendy vegan diets are 1.2 inches shorter on average with smaller and weaker bones, study warns.
Dr. Garth argued this up and down on Twitter. He's a pro-vegan doctor.
Did he like this particular article?
Yeah, and he
was
poked
fighting it?
he poked a bunch of holes in the random controlled trials, and
Gotcha.
he said that the how they came to the conclusions of the data is skewed and misleading. And
Well, you always, I mean, I assume everybody that does a study has an agenda, number one. You know,
I assume everyone who who pays for a study to be done has an agenda.
right.
Meat's
So-
good for you. Brought to you by the Beef Association.
Exactly.
It's
So-
I keep everything at arm's length.
So that's so tricky. It's like, how do you decide? Okay, because I see this, and obviously as a red meat lover, I'm going, yeah, hell yeah, this is bullshit. You should never put kids on vegan, right? And then obviously a vegan goes, well, that's bullshit. It's skewed. It's
Yeah, it's
You know, how do
the
you
data is garbage.
decide, right? How do you decide? But anyways,
You know how you decide? You agree with the one you want to be true.
pretty much, I guess
It's confirmation bias. That's all everything is.
Because if you're a parent, you know, I would see this and go, yeah, I agree. I'm never going to make my kid vegan. But then if you're pro-vegan and you're raising your kid vegan, you're going to see this and say it's bullshit.
It's by the dairy industry.
But, you know, to me, that would be incredibly wrong to raise your kids vegan. And so how do you decide what's correct? How do you know? You don't want to use your kids as an experiment. Well, I'll give this one meat for 12 years and this one will be vegan and we'll see who's shorter. See which one's healthy or not.
Right.
You know, I mean, this is, you know, life or death shit here.
Well, and it's not like it's Christianity where they're saying we'll teach them everything we believe and then let them make their decision. They're not doing that.
Right.
But even if they teach them everything they believe as far as the Bible and Christianity as a whole, they're not jeopardizing the child's health.
Well, unless you're one of those kooky religions like the Christian Science, whatever,
Sure.
where they don't believe in hospitals and stuff.
Sure, yeah,
And
there is always,
They all end up dying of cancer when they're like 36.
right.
'Cause
They're,
they just said, God will heal me.
yep. They
And,
died of polio. Yeah, nobody's dying from that anymore.
As long as we're offending everyone on this episode, which we haven't even begun to offend yet, by the way. But I think you just have to go with your gut, right? Like to me, the idea of making my kid vegan seems incredibly unsafe.
Abusive.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, I come to that conclusion. I think you've come to that conclusion, right? And just like with our pets. So how does a person who reads this article and has heard nothing but vegan, I don't want to say propaganda, but pro-vegan items, how do they make a decision?
I don't know. Hurts my head to think about.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can only be here when they need me.
Right. So, yeah, it's just one of those things, you know. And you
Dude,
gotta,
we're malnourished. What should we do? Here's some beef jerky. Lay down.
I mean, I just look at all and this is not random controlled or any of that, but you just see all the anecdotal stories of people that have quit veganism and just instantly been renewed.
But dude,
know?
there's just as many that went fucking carnivore. There's just as many.
You know, no,
You just have to look
hear
for
it
them.
from
If you look for them, you find them.
I hear it from people who go vegan from standard American diet, but not people who went from carnivore to vegan. I don't see people giving up that way. I only see people that went from vegan to either omnivore or carnivore and are completely renewed, or they go from standard American diet to vegan and they feel way better. But I don't see from carnivore to vegan. That you almost never see it.
Oh, yeah, there is.
I'm
You
sure
just
there.
gotta-
I'm
just
sure
gotta
there
follow
is.
it on Twitter.
I'm sure there is, but
But
you
for
just gotta look
every
at the overall numbers.
for every born again vegan, there are just as many carnivores who left the cult.
Right, but not to go to veganism.
No,
They might go to keto or incorporate some veggies or whatever.
sure,
But they're not going to give up animal products.
no. I've never seen a vegan go carnivore.
Oh, hell, it happens all the time.
No way.
Remember a couple weeks ago I showed you that vegan YouTuber fail list where they all bailed on
Yeah,
it.
they quit vegan, but they didn't just go straight to the other side of the spectrum.
A lot of them went carnivore.
Really?
Oh yeah, and a lot of them go first. They go to keto, kind of keto,
Just
low
have
carb,
to be extreme.
and then they end up carnivore, and then usually
so it's a gradual process.
they get there, and then you know what happens a lot of times is they fix whatever was ailing them,
Yep.
autoimmune stuff,
and
and then they kind
come back.
of reintroduce a little bit
That's balanced.
if they can tolerate it.
Sure.
Like people like Michaela Peterson can't.
Yeah,
they're just
she's a very unfortunate.
yeah, she's just
outlier.
doomed. But your average person, like I'm not gonna end up in the hospital if I eat some some asparagus, where she
right,
might.
Right.
So then it's just a matter of what's optimal for me. What can I tolerate? What works best? What do I enjoy? And what feels the best?
So one of my favorite podcasts is Mind Pump, and Adam Schaefer on the podcast, he had some skin shit.
Oh.
I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
He was dealing with
Psoriasis.
Yep. And he did carnivore, use it as an elimination diet.
Right.
I think like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he made it, and then he couldn't do it. But he loved it. He loved how he felt.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yep.
But 2 to 3 weeks, that's still honeymoon phase, so who knows?
Well,
But he just said it's
psoriasis
just
get better.
yeah, yep.
Right.
But he said I can't live that way.
He just didn't enjoy it,
No.
or just couldn't
Yep.
tolerate it.
Yeah.
Mentally.
So, but that said, to your point a little bit ago, he pulled back from carnivore and started reintroducing stuff that's a little more rounded and well-rounded and balanced, and his psoriasis and eczema and all that stayed away.
Well, that's good. Yeah, you got to find your line.
Yep.
Because some people, and I think it's just such a wide spectrum. Like you go from Michaela Peterson, who eats one piece of asparagus and is in the hospital, and then you got guys that can eat just about anything and have no effect, and then
Right.
a lot of other people are somewhere in the middle. Like for me, I have swelling and inflammation, and
Sure.
and I had eczema and itchy skin and stuff, and a lot of that stuff goes completely away. But I don't have to be 100%.
You look like you got stung by a bee.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was just talking with the singer in our band the other day, and he was like sniffling, and he got on this like some type of steroid.
It wasn't like
Totally sniffling all the time.
Coke sniff?
Exactly. And he was like, "Oh, my voice sucks," and I was like, "Dude, it's all inflammation."
It's this itchy sweater.
And he's on some sort of prednisone or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, just freaking try eating just meat or beef and water and salt for 30 days.
Right.
I bet it would probably clear up, but nobody ever wants to do it.
No, because they say that. Wait. You said beef, water, and salt, and waffle fries? Yeah, I could do that.
Right.
No waffle fries?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
It's so funny because
I'll blow my nose.
right. Well, exactly. But when you're in a band and you're making money depends on your ability to follow through.
Right.
Then it's a little more serious, right?
For sure.
So we argued a little bit about
Maybe
that.
that's why it's still part-time. He's not willing to commit.
Right. Well, we're just too old to, and the gigs aren't there to do it full time. But
Right.
I just think people just don't believe that that's actually what would happen. And it just seems so insane
Sure.
to try an elimination diet like that. But, and from sales, there's no convincing.
No, there is, but they're convinced against their will. The same opinion still. So
Exactly.
you're not you might have closed the deal, but it's your last one because you didn't change their mind.
Exactly. They have to come to that conclusion themselves.
Yep.
And you can't. All you can do is sort of be an example, and something they might want to
Actually,
emulate.
if you really, really, really wanted to spread the gospel, whether it was vegan or carnivore or keto or whatever else, if you really wanted to spread the gospel and get people to do your diet, tell them they can't.
Oh yes, right. Go the opposite way.
What are you doing?
You can't.
You look great. What are you doing?
You probably couldn't handle it.
Forget it.
Yeah, you couldn't handle it.
I do that now with CrossFit. Hey, how's CrossFit going? You don't even want to know.
You wouldn't be able to do it.
You
couldn't keep up.
You'd probably die. You probably would. Look at you. You couldn't do it.
Next thing you know, they're like, "Yeah, I could. Where is it? When's the next class?"
Almost all day. I'm busy. And all those times you just said. I said it's almost all day. Yep.
And they're tapping out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep, but you got to just give them they're like little kids. It's that I've been listening to a podcast where this doctor talks a lot about the toddler brain.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit.
Right.
It's with everything.
Yeah.
With people who don't work out, with people who can't eat right.
Yep.
It's all the fucking toddler brain.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yep.
It's like that portion of their brain never developed and they're just still little kids.
Or they react based on emotion.
Right.
Emotion is
That's the same, comes from the same spot.
Exactly. Yeah, because to me, the ability to be an adult is the ability to have an emotion and then go, all right,
Yep.
I feel that, but what's actually the right decision here? Instead of just reacting emotionally it's to actually be, what's that called? Stoicism, to look back and consider all the appropriate options and not just flail off the handle.
Right.
And, think you're getting attacked or, react from a place of insecurity.
Right.
That's why when they yelled, keep getting those gains, bro, I went, yeah, thanks. Mm-hmm. Instead of like, oh, why'd they say that?
You waited till now to do that.
Well, no, they yelled it as they were passing, but
right.
But it's funny though. I'm gonna remember that one. So, I think we've solved everything about the vegan study.
Yeah,
right?
we can go.
We solved it.
Yep.
Yeah, I still don't have a good answer. I mean, you just got to go with your gut. I mean, you can't use your kids as a freaking experiment.
Pun intended.
Right. Exactly. All right, let's move on to our term the week. Okay, so this is amino acids. I know this is some building block stuff. And that's
just
about
protein.
all I know.
Next question.
It's just, okay. So what are amino acids? Amino acids are organic compounds that form proteins when combined. Proteins provide the basic structural components of our muscles. Number one, muscles, brain. That's important too. Less so, but still important. Nervous system, blood, skin, and hair. Protein is also essential for acid, base, and fluid balance in the body and helps transport oxygen, fats, and important vitamins and minerals. Wow, these amino acids sound pretty important. Wouldn't you say?
Almost essential.
Yeah, exactly. What do amino acids do? Protein is an important macronutrient that we consume in foods like meat and poultry. The human body does
soy.
Right? Notice it didn't say asparagus. The human body uses amino acids from protein to perform important body functions such as break down food for digestion, promote muscle growth, and repair tissue. Boy,
by the way,
I'd say that's pretty important stuff.
I'm for the record, and it's not just out of professional courtesy. Mm-hmm. If people want to get their protein sources from plants, they can. They most certainly can.
Right.
100% without a doubt, you can get your daily intake, your daily recommended daily allowance of protein from plant sources.
Is this where you say you have to eat 20 pounds of beans?
Nope. But this is where I say plant-based protein sources are inferior to animal.
Right.
It's not even debatable.
Yep. So then why would you do it that way? That's my argument.
Because they don't want to kill stuff. And I respect that.
But in our vegan episode, we destroyed that argument.
Sure, but
because
they don't know that.
Stuff will die in the production of your food.
Right.
Whether it's your wheat or whatever you're eating. There was something in that field that got mowed down by the combine.
Sure.
Yeah, you're just one step further removed away.
It makes them feel good.
Exactly.
So I'm all for people feeling good.
Yep. But I'm all for people being informed, right? So if as long as they understand it's not death-free.
Well, what they're going to do is come back and say, well, I got it from a farmer down the road who has 5 acres and he is pesticide-free and doesn't have any chemicals and he has cows that are grass-fed.
Yeah, cows.
Well, yeah, but they're not eating them.
Right.
The cows are just regenerating the soil.
Yeah, but what's keeping the pests off the wheat or whatever they're eating?
They don't have to spray pesticide.
Mm-hmm. But then they get chopped up in the combine.
You don't have to combine him. The guy's 5 acres. He's picking it by hand.
So you're talking about the one guy.
Well, that's what they're going to come back with.
No, they don't have an argument. They just choose to believe that it's not happening, and they think just because it was growing in a field and they're not eating the actual flesh of the thing that nothing died in the production of it. They're just wrong.
Yeah, we can
Also,
we could squirrel on that one for another hour.
yeah. Also, they think that it didn't get bussed in from Mexico using
Right. Well, that's the
using
problem.
27 bazillion gallons of fuel on its way.
And that's the thing is,
save the environment.
To use the local farmers market argument is a valid argument. You could get away with that if that's what you're doing. But I saw you with those broccoli flowerets at Hornbacher's.
As I with those avocados
Yeah.
that don't occur naturally in Minnesota.
No. And the frozen flowerets of the
Speaking-
generic brand. That was not from
Right.
Fisher.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I got a delivery of meat from a farmer in Ulen, or a rancher in Ulen, the other day.
Oh.
500 pounds of meat for the deep freeze. Oh, hell yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Good
It was
cuts.
awesome, man. Yeah, I think they're grass-fed, grain finished. I don't like grass-fed all the way. To me, it's too, I don't know, just
Gamey?
a little too tough. And like I like a little bit more, they obviously use grain to fatten them up a little, right?
Yeah.
So personally, I like that because I've tried all the grass-fed and grain-fed, grain-finished, but I like the grass-fed, grain-finished. So that you eat grass for most of their life and then grain at the
Sure.
end to fatten them up a little bit. That's the one I like. But
Sure.
so I got that locally. So it is possible,
Yeah.
to kind of walk that walk, even around here,
Oh,
So,
absolutely. You ever go to the farmers market downtown on Saturdays?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can get everything you want.
Yeah. So, I mean, I encourage people that, are eating meat to just stock up that way, and really support, local ranchers.
And it's cheap.
And the nice thing too is I was able to tell the guy, because I don't like roasts really. So I said, we want steak and we want ground beef. So they basically just made it all that.
Oh.
So you can kind of customize how you want.
So how
your-
much was it? 500 pounds.
Like half a cow or whatever.
How much money?
Oh, like $1,000.
Okay. So $2 a pound.
Yeah, it was cheap too. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going to Costco, what do you
Right.
pay for steaks? you know?
Right. Right.
And then they're getting bussed in from wherever. Mm-hmm. So, if you can keep it as local as possible, I think that's the best argument for keeping the environmental
Yeah.
impact down to at
Yep.
least as minimal as you can.
Sure.
So that's my argument for that.
All right.
Little anecdotal.
Where'd we go?
Okay, so but anyways, this meat is full of amino acids, right?
Right. Of course.
Yeah, because even in the article here it says that it's in foods like meat and poultry.
Right. So if you're eating meat and poultry and you're taking a branched chain amino acid as a supplement, you're an idiot.
Okay, so
It's like washing your car in the rain.
what is a branched chain amino acid?
It's those. It's
Right, but so people supplement those like in protein shakes, or is that a separate thing?
it's a separate thing.
Okay,
Yeah. It's
is that like a powder or what is
Yep.
that? Okay,
Yep.
I've never used those, but is that something that fitness or bodybuilder types do a lot
Well, they're stopping.
because they realize they can just get it from food?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And it's not really like a protein shake to me is a way to hit your protein goals if you're shy.
Yeah.
if
Branched
you
chain
can't
amino
eat enough
acids
meat.
will usually be in the form of a pre-workout
Oh,
or
gotcha.
an intra workout.
That's like all those weirdos that do the dry scooping. Have you seen that?
It's so dumb. Why is the full disclosure?
It's just their way of being hardcore.
Full
I think.
disclosure. I dry scoop all the time.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Creatine. Not every time, but I usually put it in my shake. But if I fast and I don't have a shake, I'll just take the scoop and throw it in my mouth.
Okay.
But no, I've never occurred to me to put it on fucking social media. Seriously. It's not clever. It's not hard. It's not tough.
Right.
You're not gangsta.
Right.
Why are you doing it?
And I think you're minimizing its effectiveness because doesn't it have to activate in water or something?
I don't. Well,
I don't know
it'll
enough about it,
activate- well, they chase it with water, so it's the same
yeah.
thing. But I think what they're trying to do is they think it's tough.
Right. Think you're kind of a
This is how
badass.
hardcore I am.
It's kind of like drinking raw eggs or something.
Right. This is all raw. I'm so underground and just edgy and
Right.
fuck you. You are not. It's stupid. Stop doing it. Right. But I think where it stemmed from was instead of drinking all that water
Yeah.
or having to mix it or lose it. Like lose it in the glass instead of constantly rinsing and getting every
Make
single
sure they
last
get every grain in their mouth.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But you don't have to put it on social media.
Right. In fact, I saw a funny video. The More Plates, More Dates guy did one on some guy that took like dry scoop like 10 scoops and then just about died. All just for the lulz.
For the gram.
Yep.
Do
All
it
right.
for the gram.
So amino
there's-
acids and muscle building. So it
There's
says
BCAAs.
the most widely promoted benefit of branched chain amino acids is is improved muscle development. So yeah, they are being mentioned right there. So there you go. Amino acids, very, very importante.
Sure.
It says, while BCAA supplementation is widely accepted as an effective method to achieve optimal muscle growth, it is important to remember that simply buying and consuming supplements will not make your muscles gain strength and size.
Wait, what? What am I going to do with all these steroids?
A comprehensive plan for training and nutrition needs to be followed.
I got all this Dynaball. What am I going to do with it? I just was going to shoot it in my ass and watch TV. Fudge.
Yep. There's people out there that they think that's how it works, right? Well, like as we talked about on our Thor on steroids episode, you got to be pegging the needle on all fronts.
Oh, yeah.
You can't skip the workouts and just all of a sudden be massive. All it does is make your body recover quicker.
Yep.
So,
but you can try it. Go ahead.
I wonder if that's been done. Like if guys have literally just
No, because nobody's that stupid.
There's got to be a
No
guy.
way.
There's got to be a guy that just like watched Netflix and injected steroids and didn't touch a weight.
No, there's not. We'll have to find him sometime.
Yeah, I got to look that up because I bet
If you can find him, we need to have him on.
Right. Well, he's probably dead. He did other stupid things.
You live long
He
by
probably
making
thought he
those
could-
kind of decisions.
Well, yeah, he also thought he could cross the interstate and that guy will stop.
Right. Or that kind of stuff. Or I can eat as much sugar as I want.
Yep. All right.
Comes from the ground.
Okay, well, let's get into our juicy topic of the week.
Don't oversell
and
it.
I got to be careful on my language even. Trans women in girls' sports. So that's born male, transition to female, right? That's
Correct.
a trans woman, right? That's how we say it.
Correct.
Because I don't want to offend anybody and I want to make sure we're saying it correctly. And that's going to be at least my overarching point about this is even if I have a disagreement on them participating in certain sports, I got nothing but love for all humans,
Right.
right? So that's, needs to be stated up front. So, and it's interesting because this has come up and, you got to be careful, like even talking about this shit, right? Like I know Joe Rogan just about had a bunch of Spotify people, want to walk out just because he even talked about this subject.
Right.
And we've mentioned how I wish that people could have civil discussions about, like in my mind, no subject is off limits. I don't care if you're 180 degrees opposed to me. I'll hear what you have to say. I would never ever want to stop someone from speaking their point of view, even if I couldn't disagree more. Like I'm not afraid of your words, but it seems like that's not the environment we're living in right now. If you say the wrong thing, people are basically ready to want you to not have a job. Luckily for us, we put this out ourselves and there's no,
Right.
we're uncancelable.
Yeah. We were canceled before we started.
It's not like we're pre-canceled.
Right.
It's not like, someone's paying us to do this. So technically we can say whatever we want, although there's people that have lost, they get their YouTube channels shut down and get things reported and God knows what. So tread carefully in this discussion is what I'm saying. So,
I have to limber up.
so trans women, so people born male transition into women. And what we're concerned about is should they participate in girls' sports? That's really
That's the question that
That's
people
the
are
question.
concerned with, but my contention is back up. Why are we concerned about something? Well, it's our nature, it's our society's nature to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But why are we worrying about something that rarely ever happens?
I think it used to very rarely happen, but now it's happening with increased
though.
frequency.
It's not though. It's not. It's just people are opening up. Maybe they're becoming more aware. They're being accepted, so they're transitioning. That's becoming more common. The sports part isn't. Here's my argument. Overall argument, and this could be a really short show because I'm gonna skip right to the end.
Yep.
Why would anyone choose to go through all of that hell to be ridiculed and mocked and to win a fucking ribbon?
Well, I don't think anybody's choosing it just so they can.
No, that's what the contention is, though. That's why, like, South Dakota's outline it is because we got men who can't win in men's sports just jumping over the fence to win just so they can win.
Or like I've heard it with inmates too, that argument that people say they're women just so they can be in the women's prison. Now,
Right.
Now that argument I can see the logic behind.
It's much safer. Maybe it's
It's
not.
like, do I want to get destroyed by all these dudes every day, or
Right.
can I be in the women's prison and just hang out?
Right. But I don't buy that. And especially like in high school sports.
Right.
When the minute that you enter, I'm not an expert on this, but I believe as soon as you, I don't even know what the terminology is.
Transition. Declare, whatever, yeah.
Once you enter transition and you start taking the hormones and making that transition, you have to wait 2 years. You can't just start playing
Well,
sports.
I think it's different. Every state and municipality has different. And
Sure.
that's actually why it's coming up, because it is happening frequently enough now where they're having to address it. Because, well, here's an example. Okay, I brought up this article. And I'll give you the point that, and even as a person who, my personal viewpoint is that I don't think the trans women should be allowed to compete in girls' sports. So even as somebody with that viewpoint, I don't make the claim that they're doing it just because they think they can do better. I think their intention is, I'm a girl.
Right.
I'm a woman. So I don't even dispute what you're saying at all. I don't think they're doing it just to make it easier. I
Sure.
think they literally feel that way. It's just unfortunately for them, they were born with all the benefits of being male that are.
But once they transition, they don't have those anymore.
Well, but
Hormones
if you
are
live
gone.
for 30 years and you built the height and the bone density,
But
that
30
doesn't-
years,
it
we're not
doesn't
talking
go
about
away.
30-year-olds. We're talking about 14-year-olds.
Well, okay. If you live
Because
for,
that's who's playing sports.
right. But if you grew to be a certain height, you don't shrink.
True, but I get what you're saying. But when,
Well, let's look at this example. Okay, I got
yeah, sure, I'm sure, and this is probably a great example,
yep.
but probably confirmation bias and an outlier.
Well, it's happening though. This person, let's see, her name right, Laurel Hubbard, New Zealand weightlifter. Okay, and this article is from 2019. So actually, she is going to compete in this upcoming Olympics, and she's just crushing everybody. So here's the only reason I care. You notice we're not saying should women who transition into men be able to fight in the UFC.
Right.
You notice we're not saying that.
Right.
Why do you think that is? Because there's a difference between men and women. You have to acknowledge that. So if a man transitions to a woman and then wants to compete, they still retain a lot of that benefits of having, 20 whatever years of being male, the height, the bone density, the muscle structure. Even if you transition and you're on estrogen and whatever, you don't go back to the same level as a female who had lived the same amount of time their entire life. So as a result, even if he didn't do it intentionally to try to skip the line when he, I don't think he unintentionally.
Okay.
He's crushing.
Here's
She is crushing the other women.
Sure. So perfect example
Yep.
of when it wouldn't be fair.
Right.
But here's the big but. I'm talking specifically about youth.
Well, we're just talking about trans.
Yeah, I'm not. I
women.
don't care about that. That's an outlier.
this
It's
is the
one
Olympics,
story.
though.
But it's one story and it's an outlier. It's 0.0001% of the population.
Okay, but if you're
is going to there, I'm talking about Little League baseball. I'm talking about gymnastics. I'm talking about basketball. When you're 14,
right, okay,
that's where the big stink is.
it's definitely some of it.
But I don't think that. Okay, this is where it sucks because you have to be so.
You tread lightly, bro.
You do. You just have to pick your words carefully,
Well,
and that's okay.
People
I guess
need to
it's okay
understand
to pick
that
your words
we're-
carefully.
People need to understand that our intentions are just to have the discussion. I don't wish any.
But have you seen like some of the grade school, the middle school more so is when the middle school kids start to go, I always knew I was different. And this is who I am.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
But that kid, picture that kid during dodgeball class. And then when baseball season started, he's not hitting 5 bombs and hitting 850, and he's probably super effeminate. He's not like
Maybe. But in general, okay, then here's what I'll say. Why is there girls and boys sports? Why are they separated? Why don't we just have basketball?
But those kids, they're already. This sucks.
Let's just have basketball.
They're already weaker, as even before transition.
Guess what? Do you think I was good at basketball when I was like 5'2" and in 7th grade?
Right,
I sucked, right?
Right. So here's what happens.
I didn't make the team.
Right, and if you transitioned, you'd be on estrogen and you'd deplete your body of testosterone. You'd have boobies, and guess what?
There's not.
And you'd go out for girls'
There's no
basketball,
science.
and you'd still get your ass kicked.
Well, at my height. Now, okay. Now let's say you did it, and you're 6'1", right? Because you were probably that tall in 10th grade or whatever.
But you're proving my point. I'm not a expert on the biology of what goes on, but would I? Am I a person who?
Well, just because of your height, you'd have an advantage.
I know, but you're not listening to me. Am I, because of my stature?
Yeah.
Am I? It's like when you see a transgender
Dewey stoked.
young.
I like it.
Well, I'm just trying to pick my words carefully. If trying to be respectful to everybody.
Yep.
If I see somebody and I go, oh, okay, that's Joe. And now 2 years later, I see Joe in high school, and somebody says, no, it's Josephine now. Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah. I'm
I'm never surprised. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. If somebody said, "There's Dwayne," oh yeah, oh no, it's Diane now. Well, I did not see that coming.
I like that you had your name picked out already, though.
But right. It's because that's what iPhone autocorrects it to.
That's good. And now look at this one. Okay.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's they're not physically dominant to begin with.
Some of them.
I'd say most of them. I think we pick out the outliers and pick shit to become fake outraged about.
This one is redonkulous, okay? This was a dude, now a woman, 50 years old, and she is like 6'8", right? And just destroying these gals, the other gals on this college team.
She can't be 50 and playing college basketball.
Yeah.
I guess she probably has some.
But
I guess she could if she has some eligibility left.
I mean, it's not like it's Duke or something. You know, you can enroll at college anytime you want. You know.
Sure, but guess what? That lady right there, the 50-year-old who transitioned, wouldn't make Duke.
Right.
She wouldn't make the team. She wouldn't make the female
team. What
team.
I care about, and the only reason I care, is the person who was the 9th person or whatever, the one who didn't make the team because a 6'8" person did.
Sure.
That's who I'm concerned for. And as the father of daughters, you know, that's why in the high school conversation gets interesting because, you know, and I agree that it's not very common. It's not like it's happening in every school.
Because you want to know why?
It's happening more often than it did because
because people are being comfortable and they're coming out. That's great.
Some of that, and some of it's just social, you know, peer pressure. Like
Well, that's back to when I said nobody's going through all this bullshit for a fucking ribbon.
Well, except there's pockets of it being developed that it's occurring amongst friend groups, and that, you know, statistically that's just not possible, right? That's a whole nother.
Is it, or
rabbit hole.
Did those kids end up?
Well, I forget the name of the book, but it got
committing
of course
suicide
it's
or
banned
killing themselves before they ever got that far.
Right, and that's why we don't ever want that to happen. But what I'm concerned about is and there was another wrestling one. I mean, there's a zillion examples now. Like I'm sure you've seen the Connecticut boys that transition into women in the track, and they just consistently take first and second all the time. So how would you feel as the father of the daughter
I will say
who's not placing?
I will say I haven't looked for it, but I will honestly say no. I haven't seen any of that.
Right.
I haven't seen any of those stories.
And if you were the father of a daughter who
Oh,
would have taken first place and then now is taking third or less because these guys are taking first and second all the time, that to me, that's not fair. Otherwise, let's just have track. Why is there men's track? Why is there women's track? Let's just have track. If all we care about is, hey, sucks to be you.
See, but here's where
this girl is super fast and you lose, big deal.
Here's where we go down the I don't want to make it political, but now you're starting to dangerously wander down it was a choice argument.
No, not at all. I totally believe those dudes.
Because why should we have boys? Why should we have boys? Why should we have girls? You still can, because she's a girl now.
Okay, but then you have to be blind to the fact that there's any physical advantage to ever having been male, even if it was a year later or 2 years later or whatever.
Yeah, you probably would.
You'd have to say there was no advantage, but that's proven to not be true because how come these formerly males are dominating, getting first and second all the time? How come they're not middle of the pack?
But because you're only hearing about the ones that dominate. You're not hearing about Joe who went to Josephine,
right,
who is not that good.
Because on average, I mean, here's the perfect story that illustrates this, and this is not transgender related, but just gender related. If you had asked me, 5 years ago, would Serena Williams destroy most dudes in tennis? I would have said, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? They did it, and she played a guy that was ranked 200th, and he beat her. So you forget. Like I would have said, where does Serena? If there was no girls tennis or women's tennis or men's tennis, I would have said Serena's probably top 5.
Clouding those are two different.
No, we're essentially saying that there is a difference between male and female being born that way. There's an athletic performance advantage to being male. And even as Serena, who I would have thought would have destroyed all but maybe the top 2 or 3 guys, she couldn't beat the number 200 guy. So that's how far the gap is between the best woman and the
but you're looking at it
men.
Binary. Mm-hmm. You're looking at it as when that boy transitions to female, that everything just stays the same, and it doesn't. The muscle mass drops in half.
Right, but
everything changes.
That's exactly my point, is the gap is so huge that even if, let's say, okay, Serena couldn't beat the number 200 guy. Let's say guy ranked number 10 in the world transitions to female, not that he's trying to fake it or whatever, just like he legitimately transitions, starts taking estrogen. He's not going to drop down. He still retains...
Oh, for sure he'll drop down. No way.
He'll drop down some.
Look at people. But
he's not going to drop down that
men
far.
Who don't transition, we talk about it on the show all the time. Men who transition from being sedentary to more sedentary,
right,
lose all their muscle, and they're not even taking estrogen.
Right, but if he's still worked out, but you just taking estrogen now, you're not going to drop 200, points or 200 rankings.
I don't know. You would get extremely thin.
My whole point was the guys are so much.
But you're talking about a guy
women.
that beat Serena. That's still a guy,
right? Yeah.
So you can't do that. You
but
have
I'm
to
saying
talk about the guy who transitioned. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He'll have him play Serena.
Okay. Well, there's a reason that we're not talking about women who transition to men. Ever.
Oh, no, but that's not what
ever
I said.
doing. Right. But
I said take the guy who was 200th in the world and beat Serena. Now have him transition and have him play Serena.
So if you're saying,
she destroys him.
So your point is transition will be complete. You can completely adjust down or up. So that means woman.
In most cases, yes.
So a woman, if they were transitioned to male, would be able to beat the top men if they did. But that's not happening ever.
No, that's true. But because
why? How come when they get on testosterone, they don't beef up as much as the guys?
Because they don't. It's not.
Because they don't retain. They don't retain the benefits of being born male. They don't have the benefits of being born male, and having those 10, 20 years of bone structure, bone density. Every metric used does not just disappear when they transition to a woman. Just like when they transition women to man, they don't get all of a sudden catch up to dudes.
No, that's true. But
if Serena transitioned to a man, she wouldn't be able to beat the number one male. She'd climb. She'd be able to beat better than the 200th probably because of testosterone and just like any dude on testosterone, right? Like guys that are on steroids,
right.
In crazy amounts, they would do better too,
Sure.
get stronger, recover better. But they're not going to increase all the way.
Sure.
So there is a difference between male and female.
I'd like to see the statistics
born this
on
way.
the number of females that transition to male and then still try to play sports.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any.
right, because when we have that, like an MMA, right? In the UFC, we never have that issue.
Yep.
Because they can't ever get to the point where they're competitive, and that's the crux of the issue.
But
is what you're born with determines your fate. Unfortunately.
But what I don't think, and I started the conversation with this. I don't think it's as big as an issue as the alt-right and the media is trying to make it out to be.
Or old Joshy Poo here.
I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
No, it's
not that. It's not a pandemic.
No,
it's
not
like
not at all.
It's not like these kids are dominating and taking over the girls' team at Moorhead High.
Right, but
It's not.
It's
just
happening.
not happening.
Yeah, it's maybe like there's a few cases in just about every state now. So, but it has to be dealt with though, because you have to either say okay, it's allowed or it's not. And
Sure.
if you're the
Now,
parent,
here comes my curveball, my two-seamer. You ready for it? And Mel and I have had this discussion a million times.
Yep.
And I have said, if you're transitioning, either way, but if you're transitioning from male to female, I support you 1,000,000%.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that if that's who you were born as, that's who you were born as. Back to when I said you see the Joe kid and he becomes Josephine, and you're
mentally,
like,
you mean?
You're like
born mentally.
that makes he was effeminate and he just had so many female characteristics. That is not a surprise to me whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I support that. I believe it's science. I believe it's biological. I do not believe it's a choice because no one would ask for that social ridicule.
Just like being gay. No
one would ask for that social ridicule.
Mm-hmm.
But you probably shouldn't play sports because that's probably the least of your worries.
Right. And
So
I feel bad for them because here I am taking the stance that, I don't want a person born male transition to female has all the benefits of being male to be wrestling, and then just making sure my daughter not to be able to get a spot on the wrestling team or whatever.
Go ahead.
So but I mean, I feel bad even saying that because I realize I'm basically saying, well, you have to be excluded now.
Right.
Which sucks.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be saying that, but I don't see a path otherwise, unless we just say, F it, there's no more girl sports and boy sports. There's just basketball and best person wins. I don't care what they are.
But what if it's like when, I don't know, I'm spitballing here, but what if it's like when my daughter was really little and she played soccer and there was a gal on her soccer team that went up and down the field all day long and just scored at will. Mm-hmm. And she was bigger, faster, stronger, and just dominated the other little girls. Well,
that just sucks to be you then.
At halftime, the coach would go, we need you to play goalie the rest of the game.
Right.
What if it's on a case-by-case basis? What if you just said, you know what, you came out for the team, we supported your right to come out for the team. However, you're just here and everyone else is here, and we just can't do that.
Right. Yeah, it's tough.
What if it's a case-by-case basis?
I don't know what the answer is because, like I said, I feel bad even saying like you're excluded. I want them to be able to play.
Right.
But do you have a transgender Olympics or something? Well, that seems silly because there's not enough.
Yeah, right. And most of the people, and unfortunately, most of the people on the side of who cares if they dominate, don't leave anybody out.
But then
I'm not on that side.
And somebody's getting left out.
That's not sports.
Either the transgender person is getting left out or the daughter who would have
There's only
the
so
team.
many spots. Right.
So then it is unfair. And I always go back to the argument of why is there girl sports and boy sports? Why not just have hockey? Because
then all the boys would
It
play.
would be only boys.
Right.
A girl would never play a sport.
Right.
And there's a reason, because there is differences between male and female.
And it goes and back to when I said, I don't want to insinuate when I said that they probably have bigger fish to fry in terms of playing sports. Probably should be way down here on your list of things you are.
And then that feels like asshole even saying that,
right?
You don't want to say you don't get to do that
because I'm deciding what they're dealing with,
right.
And I'm telling them how they should feel, and I'm telling them what should be important to them.
That's why it sucks. Because what if they just dreamed of playing basketball their whole lives,
right?
And then you got to say, yeah, but you're a foot taller than everybody. It's not fair.
That's why I want to play basketball.
Right? It's not fair to the person that would have made the team had you not been here.
I'm getting somewhere with this. My point is, when I say, nah, I know you really want to come out for the basketball team and just dunk on everybody and lead the state in points. But you probably have things more important you are dealing with in your life. My point is, I would never tell them that. I think that's just happening.
Yeah, probably.
I think they're just like, this is a whole new world. I got so much going on. I got my parents and I got this and this and that. I got just so much they have to deal with emotionally and mentally and psychology and psychological and just socially. Just their plate's full.
Oh yeah,
I think that's just through attrition. It's naturally, I bet the people are going, fuck, I don't have time for sports. I just, it's not even on my radar.
But it's happening. That's why it's
being talked about.
Right, but it gets talked about because there is incidences of it. And I agree with you. It's not, I haven't personally experienced it, and if I don't know what I would do if I was a parent and it happened on my daughter's team.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
You said it's happening. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be dealt with. And I'm saying it's super, super, super isolated, but it's being talked about and drummed up because we like fear, we like hate, we like arguing, we like fighting. Look at the first goddamn sentence on that article. Oh, you missed it. Right above, right there.
Oh, that one.
Nope, right below that.
Oh yeah. Well, because this website is super against it though. So this is
but still, they start the sentence with "This is mass insanity."
Right. Well,
they're just trying to start fights.
I just grabbed the first article I found. Yeah. Well, this
mass insanity.
Yeah. This article is incredibly, anti this even happening. So
sure.
that's not but there is one here from Scientific American where they say literally says trans girls belong on girls sports teams, and this. Supports everything that you kind of
and this is what I was talking about. I'm not a scientist. I don't know the biology behind it. Right. If they're answering my question that they're not getting an advantage.
They make the right. This article makes all the points that you made. And then there's then here's a gal who was a 5-time national track champ saying that transgender athletes will diminish opportunities for biological women.
Sure, and then it's but by Clay Travis, who looked for the girl who had that opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
It's because it's all fucking slanted and jaded and contrived. Right. And
yep. But it's a girl, and I guess I give them a little more weight to when a girl athlete or and with experience in the sport has that opinion.
Sure, with a huge slanted leaning right bent on ideology.
Right.
I mean, you gotta.
Problem is, you have to deal with it because.
No, I agree. It is a question.
It's happening enough where, these high school.
It's happening just enough that we have
just
to talk
enough
about
where
it.
they have to have a rule. They have to decide: are we going to let them play or not? See, you can't stay on the fence on it. That's what sucks.
But here's the other part, and I just remembered this too. Here's another part of the argument. Here, just like with the bathroom thing, when all the alt-right freaks were freaking out, saying, I don't want no dude in my bathroom with my little girl. You're an idiot. Jesus.
Well, the dumb thing was when they got mad about that happened locally here. Remember at that coffee shop? But the stupid thing was there's one bathroom in the place.
Right.
So it's not It's not a multi-stall bathroom.
Right.
That's a whole different conversation.
But the argument with that is my same answer when I hear those idiots say that is when
those red-blooded patriots?
Those idiots that say that, and I say, guess what, dude? You're never gonna know. Right. You're never gonna know.
Right. Yeah. Well, again, why is there men's and women's bathrooms? I don't.
They're not.
No. Well, at the Fargo Dome there is. Why is there men's and women's bathrooms there?
No. That's not. I'm not talking about transgender bathrooms. I'm talking about men who have transitioned going into a woman's bathroom.
Right. No. Not at all. Well, because what do you think they've been doing this whole time?
Right.
Yeah. No, of course, that's a silly argument.
That's what I'm saying. Those people are idiots.
Well, that's a silly argument. Yeah. If you want to go down that road, I think there's a spectrum there of, like, I think it's silly when there's one stall with one door bathroom. Well, of course that's unisex.
Right.
I mean,
right.
What kind of idiocy is that? Okay, but at the Fargo Dome, when there's a big urinal trough and a bunch of stalls, should it just be like, hey, come on, come all? I don't know. I honestly don't know if I have an opinion on it. Like, just being 50 years old, it creeps me out just because of my programming, But would I actually care? Well, not as a dude.
Right.
I'm not threatened.
I've been in public where I've been at a urinal, using it, minding my own business, doing my thing.
Go on.
And I look up, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a woman come in. I'm just like, oh, snap. So I turn a little bit. I don't want to offend her, so I don't need to give her a peep show.
You don't want to entice her.
She clearly just, we're not fishing. Clearly, maybe she's intoxicated and she didn't know she came in the wrong bathroom.
And of course, you as a 6 foot whatever dude is not threatened by that.
Right.
Of course.
Exactly.
But now
she
if you're
comes
a girl,
in. But why would a girl be in the men's room?
No, I'm saying.
No, but
the argument is they want to just make them unisex.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the whole beef of people saying having men in the little girl's room.
Right. If we have separate bathrooms still.
Yes.
And
that's what happened.
If you're born male.
The woman came in and then she went next to me in the stall over here.
Yeah.
And I turned again and I'm like, is she trying to look at me? No, she was using it. She whips it out and takes a leak.
Oh, okay. I got
so I'm just like.
Right.
So
we're in agreement there. I mean, that's, as a dude, we're not threatened by that.
Right.
So I guess I don't know where I come down on because, true progressives want just unlabeled bathrooms.
This was
basically just
right. And
free for all. And I guess I don't know where I fall on that.
I don't either, because if it's all closed stalls, who cares? But at the same time, this was back in the day. We're getting way off track. We got to hurry up. But this was back in the day. Remember when Target had made the big stink where they said transgender people can use their whatever they identify with.
Right. Well, and that's what they've been doing the whole time.
Shit. They've been doing it the whole fucking time.
That's just stupid.
That guy that comes in there and now a woman or in the middle or whatever, he's been doing it the whole time.
Exactly.
And guess what? If he's in there and if he's dressed like that and he identifies as a woman,
who cares?
He's not interested in the people that are in there.
Right. It's not some mustachioed predator.
Right.
That's just silly. Well, and what they should have done was just not even said anything.
Right.
Because all they're doing, they're just stirring it up.
Right. Yeah.
And what they're trying to do is virtue signal, like we're woke, we're progressive, we're on your side, and that's they just want to get the corporate clout they get from that. It was just a calculation on their part.
I think it's both. I think that's why they end up doing it, because some CEO and some boardroom said,
out of it.
Yeah, they should have.
It was already going on.
But it came from a good place. I believe that.
Yeah,
it came from, you know what, we want to let them know they're welcome in our stores.
I don't think any of these guys come from a good place. Like all these, it's just
when it gets that
line.
high, no, then it's bottom line.
It's just
then it's what's the right
which
play.
one's going to piss off the least amount of people.
Yep.
They're just trying to play it safe.
For sure. Especially when if it gets high enough, it's all about the dollar.
So I think we solved it.
I did.
Yeah, we definitely solved it, man.
Everybody can just send checks.
So I don't know if this channel is still open.
Just start a GoFundMe for us that we solved the whole issue.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if this channel's still on. I mean, did it cut off mid-video? Yeah. Is this mic still on? I don't know. YouTube, maybe.
I don't think so. I think we were cautious with our words. We were respectful. We voiced our opinions. I'm a little scattered and all over the place because I'm confused still.
Exactly.
I don't have all the answers, but I'm
living
willing to
in
have
the future.
Yeah,
we're definitely living in the future. Right
now. But I'm not afraid of having the discussion. I'm not afraid of treating everyone like people.
That's the important thing, is that we can. I mean, and I literally you didn't even know this topic
No.
when I brought this up.
Nope.
And I did not know how you felt about it. For all I knew, we were just going to be high-fiving the whole time.
Right.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Right.
But we didn't. We came at it from opposite
Yeah.
points of view, had the discussion. And the scary part is that that's less and less likely to happen.
Nope.
You know, most people are like, you shouldn't even be able to say what you're saying. And
Most people would have
hate
just,
that.
if we started this, we would have thrown the mics across the room, and
But I want to know, like, let us know in the comments.
it would
if
have
you're
been just you staring at the screen like Garth
as you stomp out.
on Wayne's World. He just left.
Right. So let us know in the comments what you guys think. You know, I'm really, you know, curious. I mean, I welcome all opinions. And that's why I think issues should be handled because, you know, I think intent still matters. And you have to take into account everybody's intent. And my intent is that everybody should be valued and loved and woo-woo and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, we wanted...
Above all else, be kind.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we covered that. We solved it. So
How fat you are or what?
actually, we're going to skip that because the tape broke, and I'm still at the same weight I was at last
Oh, you
week.
are? Okay.
But I can do 18 chin-ups now.
Holy shit.
I swear every couple weeks I'm adding one.
That's awesome.
I'm getting stronger. Guys are saying, keep getting those gains, bro, at me.
Fuck.
I mean,
Pretty soon you're going to be getting...
I'm getting stronger.
Pretty soon you're going to be getting grinder requests.
Also, I've been progressive overloading on my bench, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm up to I did 150 for 4 sets of 10.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I mean, I started at like, I don't know, 100. Like, I've been basically getting 5 pounds a week. So I'm up to 150 now. And every week it's about the same amount of hard.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yawn.
Yeah. I'm boring with my bench stories.
Early morning.
But it's about the same amount of hard every week, which is a good sign because I haven't hit my limit yet where I can't do 4 sets of 10 yet.
Newbie gains.
Right.
You're going to have them for a while. That honeymoon phase is fucking enjoy it.
I feel like 150 is pretty decent for an old dude
Absolutely.
who's never really lifted. So
Absolutely.
you know, we'll see where I plateau out, but I know it's coming because that 150 was, you know, that last set of
It'll be a while.
10 was
You're going to
tough.
have some fun for a while. I would say you're going to have some fun if you do it smartly. You're going to have some fun probably well into 2022.
Yeah, baby. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, make sure you send us comments, requests for topics, spicy or otherwise, to info@fitandfurious.com. Make sure you're watching on YouTube. Check out the shenanigans, valuable visuals, and weekly extra content. Watch or listen to us anywhere audio podcasts are found: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, etc. Please subscribe, rate, review, and share. Also support the show on FuriousMerch.com. Buy t-shirts there, and we will see you next week.